I want to tell you the story of the mysteries of life and death that my brother Pete, who committed suicide 25 years ago, and I are sharing. This true story speaks about a type of love seldom explored. It probes the rich interweaving of a lifetime of relating as brothers, at times close, at times distant, exchanging roles of giver and receiver, but ever deepening into a love that pierces through the veil of death. We all experience loss. It's an unavoidable part of being human. When someone we love dies, it's natural to wonder whether the person we love is now at peace. Near-death experiences hint at what may go on during the process of dying, but do not address what happens after that. Now there are new sources of information about what we experience after physical death. These sources suggest a rich, varied, and changing life of the spirit, with the possibility of at least some communication between those living in the physical and those who have died. The science of these links is beginning to be explored. This book provides an expanded view of life after death, particularly after death by suicide. In addition, this book is about conquering the grief that follows a person taking his or her own life. Globally, more than 1 million people a year commit suicide, which equates to one person every 40 seconds. When we experience the suicide of someone close to us, we feel the shock, denial, helplessness, and sadness of all sudden deaths. But statistics suggest we also experience more depression, fear of aloneness, and relationship problems. When someone chooses death, that person renounces our power to help. This renunciation tempts the survivor to feel a persistent worthlessness and guilt. Many survivors are silent about their pain. Most would benefit from talking it out with someone who will listen and will not judge. I hope my book comforts you if you are ever affected by suicide, and lightens your heart by hearing about the intelligent, respectful, and compassionate beings that await to help guide us after death, regardless of the method of our dying. I feel my sharing in this book can counter the harsh, medieval attitudes about suicide that still permeate many cultures and religions today. My own mother, in addition to the devastation of losing her son, agonized about her treasured son spending eternity in hell, according to Catholic belief. Within Christianity, the unforgivable sin is the sin of despair. Suicide is also condemned in Judaism and Islam. I will tell you of a recent experience to show you how severe and superstitious our root culture stance is to suicide. Recently, I was visiting New Orleans to give a talk at a conference. On a free afternoon, my wife and I decided to take the city ghost tour. As we assembled in front of the old church by the river, our guide told us this story. She said that a few centuries ago, church and state were completely intermingled, and that we were standing in front of the building that was that very seat of power. In those times when someone committed suicide, their corpse was put into an inquisition chair in this church, and then interrogated and tortured for hours. As the person was dead and could not put up a defense, they were always condemned. And in response, they were then tied to a wagon wheel with their hands, feet, and head protruding past the rim. They were driven around town for ridicule and dismemberment, then fed to the alligators, bypassing any chance of being buried in sacred ground. Sacred ground held protection, so this unconsecrated disposal of the remains was believed to subject the person's soul to eternal torment by the evilest of spirits. This story illustrates the rush to judgment and total discounting of the psychological, spiritual, and life event forces that might drive a person to taking their own life.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.